Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. I've been having a situation going on for about 15 years now. And what it is I live on East DE Avenue. It's East, large D, large E Avenue. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what the street sign says. That's what my mailbox says. That's what everything is supposed to be. Unfortunately, Google has become the premier place to look for information. And Google, by some mistake or happenstance, decided that my street address was East large D small e, which made it look like East D Avenue, not DE. It looks like East D if you look at it. So when people look on the map, they say, oh, I'm going to go to East D Avenue. And since my street is the first street you come to on when you come to Richland, coming up Gull Road, people turn and go to my house. And there I am. Big old sign out front saying what the street number is. It's on the mailbox, it's on the front of the house. They pull up in the driveway, nice big wide driveway, easy to get to. And they come up to the house and they usually just drop things on the porch. Well, when we first moved here, we had pizza delivered all the time. Now, at the time, I was half tempted to just say, okay, I'll take the pizza, but that's not the right thing to do. So I said, no, not the right place. This went on for a couple months. Finally, all the pizza places that made deliveries figured out that, hey, this guy doesn't want our pizza, because I kept sending them away. I wasn't ordering delivery pizza. If I wanted pizza, I just drove over to the local and picked it up. Well, that meant that I was spending a lot of time answering the door, doing things I didn't want to do. It kind of bugged me. But as time went on, it got better and that stopped happening. Well, now Amazon has gotten to be a really big deal. It's been 15 years. When they first started out, they weren't making that many home deliveries. Well, then we had COVID. Don't even get me started. And people were getting things delivered to their house. I don't know how they managed that without spreading COVID over half the country, but, things go on like that. In any case, now a good portion of everything that everybody gets comes from Amazon. We buy things from Amazon. It's a good service. They deliver on time. Everything seems to be okay. Except about 2 weeks ago, we got 2 packages laying on the porch. Happened to be raining that day. I just stepped out, picked them up, came in the house. My wife said, I didn't order anything. So we opened one package and looked in it, and it was some kind of a mobile. And we said, no, we definitely didn't order this. So I set it next to the door and said, somebody will come along and want this. Well, it did happen. A gentleman named Garcia came up to the door and said that, in broken English, said that he was looking for a package that when he went on the FedEx or Federal Express website, they said that they had delivered it here. I said, well, let's see. And he told me what his name was, and I looked at the package. The name on the package matched his name. And I said, do you live here? And it was an apartment complex on the north side of town, which happens to have the same street address as ours, except theirs is just capital E space D, no small e. So they were getting confused and dropping things off the wrong place again. Okay, so I gave him the packages, sent him on. I said, okay, you have to take care of this. So about a week ago, well, actually early this week, a man and a woman came to the door, and the woman, who spoke better English, said that she was looking for her package. Well, they had tried to deliver something to the house about 2 days prior, and I said, nope, not mine. you need to take it over to the apartment complex on the north side of town. Trying to do a good thing, trying to steer them the right way. Well, it seems that Amazon just took it back to the warehouse and said, wrong place. So Amazon said, well, this has got to go. They paid for it. We want to deliver it. So they tried it again. And they showed up at the door, and I said, no, not mine. Take it back. So that's about 2 hours later, the lady and her husband showed up, the Garcias. And I said, well, they tried to deliver it again for the second time. And she said, well, would you please just accept it and then call us and we can come get it? I said, no, I'm not taking responsibility for your packages. Something comes up missing, I don't want to be blamed for it. So tonight, I just went out to the door, and one of the Amazon delivery guys was standing out there. We had a nice discussion about how things get confusing and problems are simply solved, and hopefully things will get better. Well, I said, okay, enough's enough. Nobody else is taking care of this. I'm going to see what I can do. Never had an inclination to go on Google and try and fix Google. Lord knows that's got to be a big mess. But Google Maps does have a way to correct addresses. So I went in there and it said, correcting incorrect information about a road. I'm reading this off the computer. On your computer, open Google Maps. At the top, click Menu, the 3 bars. On the left, click Edit the Map, Add or Fix a Road. On the map, select the road you want to pave. I don't know why they said pave. I'm not paving it. I'm changing the name. On the left, verify the selected stretch of road. Excuse me. Under Edit Information, select the type of information you want to correct and submit the correction. Click Done. So I did that. It wasn't quite that simple. I had to go through and try it 3 or 4 times before I figured out that you clicked on one end of the road and then you went clear to the other end of the road and clicked it again, and the whole road would be highlighted. Now this road is about 3 miles long, and there's a lot of houses on it. So I imagine other people are having the same problem. At least I hope they are. I don't want to be the only person in the world with an address like this. So hopefully that took care of it. And if this helps somebody else, that's great. If not, at least I got to tell you what I did. I don't know exactly if this worked, because they said it takes a few days for it to get corrected. I imagine they have to get their information sent over to India and speak to the person over in India and say, change the programming of the computer so that it's the correct name. But I typed in the correct name and changed all the addresses or all the names of that road down the full length of it, which took me more than 5 minutes. So life goes on from here, and I hope this works. If not, I'll come back on and clue you in what happened. If it did, wonderful. If you have any suggestions for new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.